It's like reading from the Book of Mormon. When I first read this, along with other passages from the first book of Napoleon, I was floored. Here we have two early 19th century contemporary books written at least a decade before the Book of Mormon that not only read and sound like the Book of Mormon, but also contain so many of the Book of Mormon's parallels and themes as well. The following is a side-by-side comparison of selected phrases the Book of Mormon is known for from the beginning portion of the Book of Mormon with the same order in the beginning portion of the first book of Napoleon. Note, these are not direct paragraphs. The first book of Napoleon, condemn not the writing, an account. The first book of Napoleon, upon the face of the earth it came to pass, the land, their inheritance, their gold and silver, and the commandments of the Lord, the foolish imaginings of their hearts, small in stature, Jerusalem, because of the perverse wickedness of the people. And from the Book of Mormon, condemn not the writing, an account, the first book of Nephi, upon the face of the earth, and it came to pass, the land, his inheritance, and his gold and his silver, and the commandments of the Lord, the foolish imaginations of his heart, large in stature, Jerusalem, because of the wickedness of the people. Number 11, the Book of Mormon taught and still teaches a Trinitarian view of the Godhead. Joseph Smith's early theology also held this view. As part of the over 100,000 changes to the Book of Mormon, there were major changes to reflect Joseph's evolved view of the Godhead. In addition to these revised passages, the following verses are among many verses still in the Book of Mormon that can be read with a Trinitarian view of the Godhead. In Alma, chapter 11, verses 38 through 39, now Zeezrom saith again unto him, Is the Son of God the very eternal Father? 39, and Amulek said unto him, Yea, he is the very eternal Father of heaven, and of earth, and of all things which in them are. He is the beginning and the end, and the first and the last. Mosiah 15, 1 through 4. And now Abinadi said unto them, I would that ye should understand that God himself shall come down among the children of man, and shall redeem his people. And because he dwelleth in flesh, he shall be called the Son of God. And having subjected the flesh to the will of the Father, being the Father and the Son, the Father because he was conceived by the power of God, and the Son because of the flesh, thus becoming the Father and Son. And they are one God, yea, the very eternal Father of heaven and of earth. In Ether, chapter 3, verses 14 through 15, Behold, I am he who was prepared from the foundation of the world to redeem my people. Behold, I am Jesus Christ, I am the Father and the Son. In me shall all mankind have life, and that eternally even they who shall believe on my name, and they shall become my sons and my daughters. And never have I showed myself unto man whom I have created. For never has man believed in me as thou hast. Seest thou that ye are created after mine own image? Yea, even all men were created in the beginning after mine own image. Mosiah, chapter 16, verse 15. Teach them that redemption cometh through Christ the Lord, who is the very eternal Father. Amen. Boyd Kirkland made the following observation, quote, The Book of Mormon and early revelations of Joseph Smith do indeed vividly portray a picture of the Father and Son as the same God. Why is it that the Book of Mormon not only doesn't clear up questions about the Godhead, which have raged in Christianity for centuries, but on the contrary, just adds to the confusion? This seems particularly ironic, since a major avowed purpose of the book was to restore lost truths and end doctrinal controversies caused by the great and abominable church's corruption of the Bible. In later years, he, Joseph, revised his earlier efforts to completely monotheize the Godhead and instead tritheized it. End quote. Assuming that the official 1838 first vision account is truthful and accurate, why would Joseph Smith hold a Trinitarian view of the Godhead if he personally saw God the Father and Jesus Christ as separate and embodied beings a few years earlier in the Sacred Grove? On to Book of Mormon translation, concerns and questions. I will begin by saying that we still have pictures on our ward bulletin boards of Joseph Smith with the gold plates in front of him. That has become an irksome point, and I think it is something the church should pay attention to, because anyone who studies the history knows that is not what happened. There is no church historian who says that is what happened, and yet it is being propagated by the church, and it feeds into the notion that the church is trying to cover up embarrassing episodes and is sort of prettifying its own history. So I think we ought to just stop that immediately. I am not sure we need a lot of pictures in our chapels of Joseph looking into his hat, but we certainly should tell our children that is how it worked. It's weird. It's a weird picture. It implies it's like darkening a room when we show slides. It implies that there is an image appearing in that stone, and the light would make it more difficult to see that image. So that implies a translation, that a reading, and so gives us a little clue about the whole translation process. It also raises the strange question, what in the world are the plates for? Why do we need them on the table if they are just wrapped up in a cloth while he looks into a seer stone? End quote. Richard Bushman, LDS scholar, historian, patriarch, Fair Mormon Podcast, Episode 3, Richard L. Bushman, Part 1, 4725. Unlike the story I've been taught in Sunday school, priesthood, general conferences, seminary, EFY, ensigns, church history tour, missionary training center, and BYU, Joseph Smith used a rock in a hat for translating the Book of Mormon. In other words, Joseph used the same magic device, or Ouija board, that he used during his treasure hunting days. He put a rock, called a peepstone, in his hat and put his face in the hat to tell his customers the location of buried treasure on their property. He also used this same method for translating the Book of Mormon, while the gold plates were covered, placed in another room, or even buried in the woods. The gold plates were not used for the Book of Mormon we have today. Update. These facts are now officially confirmed in the Church's December 2013 Book of Mormon translation essay. The Church later admitted these facts in its October 2015 ensign, where they include a photograph of the actual rock that Joseph Smith used to place in his hat for the Book of Mormon translation. Additional photos of the rock can be viewed on LDS.org. In June 2016, President Dieter F. Uchtdorf posted on his Facebook page comparing the seer stone in the hat, Book of Mormon translation, to his iPhone. Fair Mormon posted new Book of Mormon translation artwork showing Joseph Smith's face in a hat.